Hello, now let's go to the topic burnout. But first, before I go to this topic, I want to notice all of you that I read the Saint John of the Cross book about the Dark Night of the Soul, so it may imply those kind of topics while I talk about this topic. It's all based on my personal experience, and it may not be the whole truth, but it can also show a little bit of fact in it. So, based on those facts, I hope you follow this, and it wouldn't be that long as I suppose, but it could be. So, considering that, let's start. So, burnout. It can mean in the interior, in the inside, all the energy, all the passion, all the things that drive me to be creative, to be artistic, to be poet of the world is dry out. I don't want to do this work because I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I don't want to do this because nobody recognizes me. This can be an external factor because for some people, reputation and recognition of the other people is important. It leads to the outside world. And it also indicates the me, the egocentric view of the person. Because the art itself applies the personality the person has, the artistic view the person has, and also the poem and the magic the person contains. It wants to spill out all the tea it has, all the beans it has, because it wants to share it. It doesn't want to hold it by himself or herself or by themselves because it's worthy of it. And worthy for what? For the world, for the people. So, in that knowledge, in that logic, people have to recognize that person. But for what? Is that person really important? Is that person really famous or popular in that scene? Is that person really should be considered as the it factor in the scene itself? Like it could be any scene or any field. Self improvement, YouTuber consulting, any field. It could be painful for some people to just swallow this red pill or not. It could be a black pill for some people who are in this work, in this field of art. So, as I said in the previous episode, the motives are important to consider because if the motive itself is to empty oneself and make a prayer to the world, to make it serve it to the world as a food, as a supper that the Lord organized, then it wouldn't be that much painful. It wouldn't be that much anxious, tiring, exhausting, and all the other like the feelings that make you feel down. Rather, it could be considered really holy. It could see the life immortal size, mortal size, world size, see the life's eternity, how art can be very staying for a long time after that person is like long gone after. Like, for example, even Alexander Hamilton's legacy still left in America in these days. It could be considered an art. Even what if his motive was he wanted to serve the nation? He wanted to serve the nation America. Then how about the other people? Is it just for only self promotion? Only for self recognition? Then the burnout questions turn out to a different sphere because burnout can be a dark night for the soul. A dark night for the soul because it is going through the trials, going through all the hard times because that person is turning to into a gold or vessel of something else. It could be wind out. It could be like I don't want to do this. Like I'm too rustle right now. I'm too rusty. It doesn't matter. After all, if that person pour out all his like own best, all his artistic view, all his poetic views, And if that person served all his best to the world, not for himself, but for the world, serving the world, then what could be more better? Because the world needs those person. It just doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be egocentric after all. Because the burnout and the resting and the trunker period after the whole work and all those anxiety and all those like negative feelings, negative or some dark feelings you may say, it all has its meaning. It just means the person needs to rest or needs to look inside for their own motives, for their own motives for the world. And if it is egocentric, it's not wrong. Some may say, you're saying those person are wrong. No, it doesn't mean because those person has their own gospel. But we need to look carefully, as I said in the previous episode, critical thinking. But for creators, I want to ask these questions, and for also the consumers and also the people who are listening to this podcast, I want to ask this question. What is the method of art you're serving for this world? Is it a labor that you really want to serve for the world? It doesn't have to be very full of passion. It just needs to be there for the necessity. Yes, I know where it's going to. Ikigai. But it doesn't have to. There can be own meaning for it. A meaning where you're still there. A meaning why you're still doing that work, even for the people you're working for. It means something. Something that can show the way out of burnout. Because, as Art has said in the very first zero point 0.5 episode, it's for serving for the God, serving for the holy world, serving the beautifulness itself. Creator economy serves it, but as I said in the previous episode, it is victorious and vicious because it consumes the person who are consuming it and also producing it. But if you look at this way, the burnout itself is a trial, a hard time to make the person a gold or rusty metal. It doesn't matter because the burnout itself is a trial and a darkness for the soul to look at the internal motives, not just the external motives, external factors. And it can show the soul is looking for solitude, for quiet time, and also for the chunk of period of rest. It shows that people are not just machines, but it shows how the world isn't completely perfect and perfect in a beautiful and also melancholy way. So we don't have to be stressful. We don't have to stress out because we're just burnout because burnout means we did our best and we need to look a little bit more carefully, little bit more considerate into ourselves because it is a dark night, but a beautiful dark night. Even it makes the interior soul, interior mind itself dry out. That's all I wanted to say because after reading the collected works of Saint John of the Cross from the Carmel, it kind of gave me those insights. Yes, I'm a Catholic. Just a little bit of TMI for a closing mint. And anyways, thank you for listening to this podcast. And I'm not sure which one will be the next episode because I just turned at the burnout. But for the next episode, I may consider doing AI, but I'm not sure. So you should look out and hope you serve and lower yourself because you're not just the only person in the world. We're not just the only people in the world. You're here for a reason to make a more beautiful world. Thank you for listening.